Hey Rob, I met Sleeping Victor apparently,
What do you mean?
and he's a straight up liar.
I literally just woke up. Like you, when you called me, I was in bed.
I called. I said, "Yo, did you just wake up?" And he go, "No."
You can't trust sleeping Victor. He will pick up the phone. I will talk to you if I'm half asleep
That's
or
funny.
sleeping. And I call him Sleeping Victor because he will lie to you. He will just tell you anything because he doesn't know what he's saying.
Oh, so I met Sleeping Victor.
You got like halfway Sleeping Victor, yeah. And he's a liar.
He just straight up lied to my ear.
Sounds-
He was like, "Nope, no hesitation, no thought, just like, nope, I was not sleeping."
Yeah. I was clearly not sleeping.
How did you you didn't have your alarm or your do not disturb on?
No, because it's not a work night.
Uh,
So the sleep
Gotcha.
schedule doesn't do its thing. It's not a feature in Apple, and therefore my life lives through Apple features.
that's the way it's meant to be.
Don't we all? My fucking AirPods are dying though too.
Bro, you need new ones.
I have to put them in. I have to take them out and then put them in again, and then it'll connect with my phone.
That usually happens like what, like year 2, year 3.
I'm on. Oh no, I'm on like
Yeah.
year 4 at this point.
Oh, dude,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
it's time for a new
bro?
one. I got rid of mine after 3 years. I think.
I don't want to spend
was
that
dead.
money.
That's the limit, like three,
I
three,
think they're
4 years.
designed
Yeah,
to
3
die
years.
out at that time. Yeah.
Like usually, yeah, you're still having problems.
I think it depends on the usage though, because I used to only use them for
Yes,
the gym,
yes.
and I think that's why it lasted so long. But now I use them for, every day. Chris, are you excited? Is this your first episode?
We'll see what happens. I don't know. All you guys staring at me and the pressure is
You lubed up? You're ready to go?
Just show me you're lubed up. It's just a thing we do. All right, Chris, take us away.
So today we'll be putting our caps on and adjusting our beanies because we're about to explore the captivating world of hat collecting.
Welcome
To the I'm not dumb, but
podcast where we won't claim to have the answers to life's deepest questions
But we'll give you an exciting journey.
into the realms of knowledge you never knew you needed,
might be mainstream.
but not common knowledge. From artificial intelligence to conspiracy theories, no topic is too taboo for us to explore. Let's get curious together.
I'm Chris, your host for today. Also joining by Rob
You.
and Victor.
How y'all doing?
Do you guys have hat? Like, do you guys wear hats often, or is it like an everyday thing for you guys?
On occasion, I'll wear a hat. Sure.
I do not wear hats, and let me tell you why.
Because he's
Because I
that
look
head of
fucking
hair.
stupid. Well, my full head of hair is just going to get in the way, but I look fucking stupid with hats on. I do look good with beanies, but I do not look good with brim hats. So no, I don't wear.
So you have to wait until wintertime, huh? To
Yeah,
pull it.
my hat game only comes out when it's like 30 degrees outside.
As a hair challenged person, my entire winter is spent with a hat or a hoodie because I get cold very quickly.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, that seems like a problem.
But you know what? I always envy the people who have hats or who could rock hats. I don't know if you guys ever met him, but we have this one friend. His name is Mitch. He's been on the podcast a couple of times. Shout out to Mitch. We miss you.
It's been a long day.
But he could rock hats like crazy. And the guy would always have tons of hats. But I would always see him wear hats. I would always see like this like underground hat game. But I could never be part of it because I just look like a fucking moron with a hat on.
I wish I had like a hat. You know, those people that have like a hat for every occasion. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
For everything?
I have, like,
yeah.
Yeah, like I have 3 hats, and I wear one occasionally.
Well, what about you, Chris? You're a big hat guy?
I used to collect, like, I do wear here and there, but I realized I don't wear it every day. And I felt it was like waste at some point.
Wait, so you collect hats?
I didn't think it was a collecting. I just bought it because I like hats, or I like, it was cool, or, the design, the logos, or the team, you know what I mean? Or color. So I bought it, but 1 became 5, and 5 became 15, and then 15 became 20. So at some point, I think I sold everything off just because I couldn't take it anymore. As of right now, I only have like 10 different hats that I go through.
Why do I feel like you turn everything into a business? You're like, yeah, I had like a bunch of shit laying around the house. Like, and then I just, you know what, I sold it all off. I made like $600.
That's a racist comment.
Is it?
This guy's Asian. He must be turning everything into a business.
First of all, that's what I meant.
That escalated quickly.
So to guide us through this fascinating realm, I invited a special guest, our friend Steph, a subject matter expert and a passionate hat collector. Welcome to the show, Steph.
Hey guys,
Yo, what's up?
Welcome.
That's a beautiful hat you're wearing.
I would say more avid customer, possibly an addiction, an obsession, but I wouldn't say
Here we go. Here it always starts with that.
But they say a passionate hat collector.
I was passionate about drugs in high school, but I never collected them.
It's a hobby of mine.
It's a hobby, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm a subject matter expert, more like a enthusiast. I don't consider a collection necessarily either. It's just a product that I like to purchase. That's really it. It's not like I have a goal in mind of how many hats or anything like that. I just like hats.
Let me talk about a little brief history of hats or fitted baseball caps.
Okay.
So you have to go way back to 1800s. There was a baseball team called Brooklyn Excelsiors. This team wore the early version of the modern rounded top cap, setting the groundwork for the future design. So they were like the first team ever to wear that hat, that design.
So this was a baseball team in the 1860s?
Yep.
So all baseball teams wore top hats before that?
I honestly, I have no idea what kind of hat they wore besides rounded top. From there, we go up to 1930s, 1934. The CEO of New Era, you guys know New Era, right? The hat company?
Yeah.
He introduced...
That's what all the hats are now.
Yes.
It was around in the 1930s?
That's when introduced the Brooklyn style cap, a major step towards the fitted cap we know today. And they call it Brooklyn style because of that baseball team from 1800s. And then in the 50s, 1954, they debuted iconic 5950 fitted cap,
Snapback fitted cap.
which remained popular to this day. And the 5950 fitted silhouette was born, giving this classic baseball cap a more contemporary look. So that's what we see every day.
Yeah, we see the 59. I see the 5950 everywhere. So that came from what?
So whatever from that 30s, that just kept evolving. And then in the 50s, that's what they finally came out, like the what we see today.
So in 1954 is when they came out with the 5950?
Yep.
Holy crap. Wow.
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 The 5950 New Era. I remember that. That was like the coolest hat to buy in high school.
That was the one with the sticker, right?
You're supposed to leave the sticker on the brim. You never take it off. You actually, what I've been doing is I've been putting the receipt inside also. Yeah. Just in case I need to return it.
So in the 80s and the 90s, the rappers and athletes such as Run DMC, Spike Lee, and Michael Jordan began wearing fitted caps, making them a symbol of coolness and rebellion. So defying convention and turning a headgear into a symbol of rebellion and self-expression. And it became their signature style, further solidified the cap's association with urban culture and social awareness. And numerous rappers like Jay-Z, Tupac, 50 Cent embraced fitted caps, each adding their own personal touch with the custom design and logos. And actors and other celebrities started to wearing fitted caps, further increased their visibility and appeal to the general public. Main thing was the self-expression. So they were putting their own twist, like logos, their designs. And ultimately, the rise of the fitted baseball cap can't be attributed to the single individuals or event. It was a combination of cultural trends, fashion choices, and innovations in design and production that made it a popular and enduring symbol of style.
All right. So fitted caps, we're talking about fitted caps,
Yes,
not the one that
fitted.
you like snap on. That started in the mid to late 1800s. New Era 5950 was around back in the 1950s. And then it wasn't until the 1980s and 90s when basically rappers and athletes started making it popular, like main culture.
You're right. They made it mainstream. Yep.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. I did not know that this company was around this long.
Another fun fact: they actually started in Buffalo, New York. Apparently.
New Era?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Wow. Do we know if New Era got the Brooklyn Excelsiors their hats? Were they New Era hats also? They just came out with their Brooklyn style cap.
I think they just came out with it.
Homage to the.
Yeah, they just came out with from the. Yeah.
I gotcha. All right, cool.
New Era is the brand when you're talking about hats. You know, there's Mitchell and Ness, 47. There's all these different. Fanatics has their own hats now. But if you're talking fitteds, like you want a New Era 5950.
But I have a 47, and I'm an avid 47 guy.
Yep.
Because the way my head is shaped, New Era has got like the little
You
like
get-
the
you
top.
get the little-
it's like
the-
structured.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I get
And
that
I don't
too.
have a structured head. I'm a very unstructured person. So like the 47s always they look better on me. But I always wished I could wear a 5950 New Era.
I think that's pretty common. I think hats generally start off with like your face shape. What looks good on you has to do with your face shape and your head, obviously, too. But people, like a lot of people wear the 47 hats, like the dad hats. They're not as structured. They're floppy. They're easy to put on, easy to store, easy to put away. Like whatever, it's very convenient. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think if you're talking fitteds, there is a bar for fitteds. There isn't, I don't think, a bar for like dad hats or bucket hats or beanies, as far as I know.
Right.
So when you're talking about fitted hats, 5950 is the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Before we dive into the fascinating world of collecting hats, Steph, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background with collecting?
Yeah. So I grew up with baseball, just in the family. Dad played growing up, grandfather played growing up. So if you're into baseball, hats is a big part of that baseball culture as well. So, you know, if you're seeing baseball players, professional baseball players, they still wear hats quite frequently off of the field as well. It's just kind of something you grow up with.
Yeah, I remember that look. Long hair and hats.
That's exactly what I'm doing now.
That's how you tell who the fucking baseball player is.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you just throw the Oakley shades on top, upside down, and that's what makes you a baseball player.
Classic.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. We could pick you out of a fucking lineup.
Exactly. You got to have like, neon orange shades with white frames that are sitting on top of your hat. You're usually behind your head for some reason. Doesn't even make sense. But that's the baseball look, right? And then what Chris was talking about, that the 90s, the hip hop era, that's where like it blew up. That's now like part of the culture. You're matching it with your shirt, you're matching it with your shoes, your socks, whatever. It's like part of the entire fit. It's not just saying I'm a baseball player.
Every time I saw like a 90s rapper, it was like the hat matched the jumpsuit, matched the Timbs, matched the fucking car he drove.
It was a whole outfit.
Yeah. The hat was part of the entire day.
For me, when I was in high school, it was North Carolina Tar Heels, the blue, baby blue.
The one with the foot on it, with the bar on the heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, I remember that.
That was cool.
Yeah, so I bought it. I didn't even care who, like Tar Heels. I was like, what? But I just bought it just because I thought it was cool.
So let me understand. Are people right now collecting hats, or are they reselling hats? Like, what is with the hat culture right now? Is it still just big to have like dope ass hats?
Yeah, so like fitteds are coming back. They've been coming back for like the last, I would say, like year, maybe 2 years. For a long period of time, it was all about snapbacks and dad hats. So like fitted caps are kind of making a resurgence. Like if you saw someone wearing a fitted 2015, you're either seeing them like as a sports fan or like, I don't know, just for comfort or convenience. It wasn't like part of an outfit. it was more functional, I think. But now it's coming back as like a accessory essentially. So, people are looking at with the lens of like the 90s. Like this is part of your fit, this is part of your identity, it's part of your vibe. And like it's not just about like baseball hats, it's like basketball hats. You got soccer hats, you have Animaniacs, you have Garfield. So people are wearing like fitteds to express themselves. It's another way to
self-expression. Can you tell us how many hats you have in your collection?
Yeah, take a guess.
I'd say like 35.
No, I'd say more than that. I'd say like 40. Without going over, 40.
40s?
I'd say 40, yeah.
I have a rough idea, so it's definitely over 100. Definitely.
Where do you put over 100 hats in a New York City apartment?
What does he have, like a storage space that's all hats?
Just for hats?
To answer the question, yes, I'm over 100. I would say probably around like the 140 range.
Damn.
What the
Jesus
my
Christ.
God, dude. We have to talk about this. I'm going to do a budgeting episode because
Jesus.
140 hats.
If we're talking just fitted, it's probably about like 80, maybe over 100 possibly. But yeah, I have a lot of hats.
Where do you put these hats?
You know those shoe boxes where you can flip open the front?
Yeah.
Ones where I store them in there. I can fit like 15 hats per container, and so I just stack them.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Wait, but do you know which hats are in which container?
Yes, they're all categorized.
Oh my God.
How are they categorized? How do you categorize your hats? Please tell me. Is it by color or
team?
Is it race or team?
It's a combination. It's a combination of so for my sports teams that I'm a fan of, they have their own box because I have enough hats to fill their own box.
That's okay. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a fitted like a baseball cap that's not my team, they all sit in a separate box. And then if I have a ton of one color, they get their own box.
Wow.
Wow.
These boxes fit in your closet?
Yeah, I mean they're the size of a shoebox essentially. Each box.
So it's only 10
Wow.
shoe boxes. I'll allow it.
Is that like a very high number to you guys, or is
That
it
is
like
a high number to me. You're
Yeah,
talking
that's a
to
high
somebody
number.
who's owned 5 hats in their life, and 3 of them are in my closet right now.
Like I have as of right now, I think I have like 12 or 15, and I'm having a hard time storing them. Like I don't know what to do.
I mean, I've tried every storage solution. I've tried the things that hang the door with the rope. I've tried like individual nails on the wall. Then it's just an entire wall of hats, and that's annoying. So
Why are you getting into hat? Like, you just like hats, so you buy them and you're collecting them, or what do you plan on doing with them, or is this just part of the culture? Is this like
there's no purpose to it whatsoever.
this is like a normal thing? Like tons of people are into this.
I think what it stems from is probably like this feels like a therapy session to me. This is actually very interesting because it's like, why do I collect hats? I've never thought about that question before. I just like them.
Is that indicative of some emotional turmoil?
But I do think it has to do with self-expression. That's ultimately the reason. It's another way to express yourself, whether it's colors or teams or interests or whatever. It's something that like kind of completes my expression, I guess. Yeah. And it's functional. It's convenient. I don't have to do my hair ever. Just throw on a hat and you go. If it's sunny, it's okay. You got a brim. If it rains, it's fine. You got a brim. So
That I agree with. Every time I don't want to do my hair, I do put on a hat though.
You're talking to 2 people who have amazing heads of hair, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If I had a head of hair like you guys, I'd never wear a hat in my life.
you never wear a hat anyways. So that
And yet, I still don't have a head of hair like you guys do.
I'll wear a hat sometimes to the gym, and that's almost strictly for utility purposes of soaking up the sweat so it doesn't come
See,
down
that
to my
sounds
face.
gross to me. I don't want to wear a hat to the gym because I don't want it soaking in sweat.
No, that's the whole purpose. That's why I wear a hat. But I'm not buying fancy hats. Like I'm buying like Under Armour shitty hats.
Right.
All right, so you have 150 hats. 80 of them are fitted, 59.50. Those hats ain't cheap. They're like, what do hats go for now? Like 50, 60 bucks?
They're 50, like $45 to $50, depending on the retailer. But I mean, they were 35 when we were growing up.
Yeah, they were
So
35
yeah,
bucks.
it feels like
I
quite a
remember
jump.
that.
And even then, it felt like a lot.
Or a hat.
I would save up to get hats. So
Do you remember your first hat purchase?
I have no clue. Like my kid photos, I'm wearing hats.
Tell us when you bought your first hat.
When did you lose your hat virginity?
Yeah. Who popped your...
Who popped your hat cherry?
Was it a new era or a 47?
Yeah.
My fitted cherry was popped by a new era 5950.
Oh,
Got
look
him.
at that.
I did get my first 5950 when I was in 5th grade as my Christmas.
Me too. When the Yankees were
Really?
winning and I wanted to fit in and everyone had a fucking New York Yankees 5950 hat,
Mm-hmm.
I went to fucking Lids. You remember Lids?
Yep.
I walked in there.
It's still nice.
Right? I went in there and I was like, yeah, I'm going to fucking buy a hat, right? Because that's what everyone else is doing. So I asked my mom for money. I said, give me money. I got to go buy a hat. So she gave me like $20. I was like, it's going to cost a little bit more than that. So I get there and all my friends had regular size heads. So I'm like throwing them on. I'm like, I never realized how small my head was until Fitted Hats told me. I was like, dude, I'm like a 5 3/8 or some shit. Like I should be in a museum or something. But yeah, did that, went to work, I went to school and had just that patch, on the side. And it was like, yeah, that was the shit. 5950, new era. I look like an idiot, but I fit in.
You still have the hat? Oh,
No.
Oh.
No, I don't have that.
That's all.
And then the hat I had after that, it was like what was this? Like the late 90s. Remember those like New York City hats, but they were like written in Japanese. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
it was
so.
it was New York Yankees, but it would look like a Japanese logo or some like Asian like samurai logo. I don't even know what it said. I had that hat in red, and I was like, "Oh, this is the coolest shit ever." And then, that faded away. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
That's the Matsui era, the Hideki Matsui era.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
there
think
was
so,
a lot
too.
of Japanese merch coming out when he came to New York. It was a big deal.
Oh, that hat looked so
Mhm.
dope. But yeah, never got into it because I just look like an idiot.
Victor, what about you? Do you have any fitted hats or anything?
No.
Besides your... No?
No. I got into hats very late because I had a luscious head of hair when I was younger.
Oh, this guy was like a stallion in high school.
Oh, my hair was on point.
Hair game was on
I
point.
peaked too soon. Was the issue.
We all do sometimes.
No, I was never into hats. I feel like with hats, especially when you're younger and you're going to school, you need to know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a different way. You have to put it somewhere because you can't wear your hat in class. So you have to like place it certain place. You have to know where your hat is. And any time that I would put it down, it's fucking gone. Like I kick it under something and I never see it. And it's like dirty. So it's been on the floor. Hats, I think I was like, when I really started wearing hats, I think I was in college because I was living in Florida. So I needed hats to block from the sun.
Right.
And then I bought like some surfer hats. I had like a Quicksilver hat. Even now, I mean, again, I only wear hats for certain occasions for exercise.
I mean, I think that's a pretty fair point, though. Like, I work in a job where I can wear a hat all day long.
Right.
And so, like, there's no taking my hat off unless I need to scratch my head. It's not something where, like, someone's telling me to take off my hat and put it down.
Right.
But, yeah.
So right now, when you have 150 hats or whatever it is, and you're just going to keep going with it, what are you looking for? Like right now, like
What's your process of actually buying a hat?
yeah, like
Right.
what do you?
What's your philosophy?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah. I mean, I think collecting hats is not really the right word. It's not like collecting cards, collecting shoes, or collecting coins. Like people aren't tracking the rarity of certain hat designs. That part is not really in the culture. There is a resale culture, but like it's more recently because you have like Drake that's doing a collab with New Era or something like that.
Mm.
But process wise, like I go for my team's number one. If I can rock a sick hat that represents one of my sports teams, that's what I want to go for. Then I probably look at like color. I don't know.
If your team comes out with like a new design, is that what you're looking at?
I'm always looking.
What is your team?
The Cubs, the Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
Like there are thousands of Chicago Cubs hats. Like it's very easy for me to scroll through a page of like 200 products and like not like any of them. So it's not like I see every hat. I'm like, I want every single Cubs hat that came out this year from New Era. No, it's literally just like, do I like this hat? Yes or no? Is it easy for me to wear? Do I have to think too much? If I can just throw it on, or I can see an expression of myself in it, then I'll go for it.
What about colors? Like, is there certain colors you're geared towards more than the other?
Well, you can't wear blue. You can't wear red. You can't wear gold. And I think those are the colors you can't wear. I think that's my understanding.
Is that based off of his eyes? What are you going off of?
I think that is 1990s gang culture.
Oh.
And if you want to wear white, that's okay.
Before
I learned all this from Double XL magazine. But is that still available
a thing?
today?
Is that still a thing today?
I think it depends. That's more just like a location thing. That's not like a hat thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But no, generally, no, there are no like colors that I'm opposed to. I think I gravitate towards black hats. It's just easy. Navy hats, tones. Yeah.
Right. And I know there are different types, right? Like fitted, like snapback and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many bucket hats, beanies, snapbacks, dad hats. I don't know.
Are those like trucker hats still cool?
Well, like the Von Dutch hats?
Like the Von Dutch, where it's like the front's like a fucking plush animal and then the back is like...
It's not 2001 anymore, bro. Put your Von Dutch hat away. It's not coming back.
Damn it.
Ashton Kutcher, settle down.
They may be making a comeback.
No.
No.
Are you serious?
Oh, that's a good burn.
Yeah, I've definitely seen more people walking around with it on that.
What about the Bass Pro Shop hats? Those are big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are big among the January 6th community.
No, even in like Europe and shit. Those are huge.
Really?
Yeah, Bass Pro Shop hats.
I've only seen a certain type of people wear those hats around here.
There's like a huge market.
And they own trucks.
Well, yeah, you have those. And then you have everyone else who has these hats, but there's a huge like counterfeit market for these Bass Pro Shop hats. They're humongous.
Yeah, it's like Justin Bieber wore it or something once.
Really?
Oh,
The only people I've seen wear Bass Pro hats bleed red and they vote red too.
Those are patriots. I think that's what you'd call them.
But do other style of hats, do they have the same culture as fitted hats? Like, do people collect those too?
Yeah, totally. Definitely people who just, I guess going back to it, like, I don't think people end up with a collection of hats because they're trying to collect it. I think they just gravitate towards it and it just kind of happens. It's like, I think it starts with like function or style or there's some purpose and it bleeds into multiple, functions. So like Victor may only wear it to the gym, but then if it's sunny out, he'll also wear a hat. Or if it's raining and super windy, he can't carry an umbrella, maybe he'll get a hat. I have no idea. But I think function is probably the primary reason why most people buy hats. I don't think it's necessarily for fashion.
So it's not like why people get into the sneaker culture.
No, I don't think so.
It's different. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like what sneaker culture used to be.
So sneaker culture used to be that way, and then it evolved into whatever it is now. And it seems like it's just huge resale and people jumping on hype and trying to make money off that. But I think that the companies are getting into that. Like they're feeding off that for sales. Right? They know they can sell a bunch of stuff,
Right.
but it doesn't seem like we're there yet with hats. Do you think it's getting there? Is there a big like resale community for hats? Is that growing? Is there a StockX for hats?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, there definitely has people will pay well over retail for, but it's not going to be. It's not. How do I explain this? There's too much variation with hats, I think, to be able to collect the way that you do with shoes.
Mm.
Like if New Era is doing a drop, like it may be one style, but it'll be like 30 teams, right? So like you have 30 options with one drop as opposed to just one colorway for a team.
Right. That makes sense.
I've never met anyone who collects like every hat.
It's impossible.
I never thought
to
of
me,
that
that's
way.
like, do you collect socks? Like, no.
I
like,
do collect socks, and I get the best ones from Costco.
Kirkland?
Kirkland merino wool all day.
Did you get the limited edition golden toe?
A masterpiece.
What advice would you give to someone who is just starting to collect or getting into fitted hats? And then what like essential things they should know?
Like me, right? Like let's say I want to get into these hats. I look like an idiot, right? But I'm going to get past that. I want to get into it. I want to be cool. You know, I want it to work for me. What do I do? I go into a store. I go into a Lids. And I know I'm going to get screwed. It's like walking into a Foot Locker. I just know, like, I'm just going to get screwed. What do I do?
Try on different styles of hats. See what style fits you. Fits your head shape, I guess. You can also, the thing with hats is that you can manipulate them. Like, it's not like the shape that you buy it in is going to be the shape that it holds for its lifetime. So you can bend the brim as much as you want. You can.
Whoa, that's allowed? I thought you were supposed to keep it straight.
I mean, do whatever you want, right? Like, it's your hat. So.
Oh.
I don't think there's like any rule. I think it's literally like when you used to go to the store and you picked out what you liked.
I always thought it was like, you know how with sneakers, people try not to make those creases in the front under the toes?
Yeah, in high school, all
they
those
walk
people
like
who
idiots.
walk like ducks. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was the same for hats. Like, you don't ever want to bend the brim.
I guess not.
I think that's kind of where the whole flat brim thing started. But like, people are expressing themselves with hats now. Like, they put pins on them. They put their own patches on it.
What are they, Crocs?
The whole thing right now is like going to Lids and getting it embroidered. You can have anything embroidered on the hat on the side.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like they have a whole catalog you can choose from too.
So are people going in there and like, you know how like those businessmen get like their sleeves and their collar, like put their initials on them? Are people what are they embroidering on their hats?
Yeah, that's the stuff they're doing. They're like writing their names or their girlfriend's name or their dog's name, or they're putting a taco on it because they love tacos. I don't know. You can literally put like anything on there.
And Liz is doing this?
Yeah.
Huh.
Holy crap.
They market it pretty heavy too. I think it's like options that they provide.
And what does an embroider cost now? $25?
I never get it done.
Yeah.
Do they do it on like any hats you buy, or you have to be certain hats?
Any hat you buy.
I'm going to go and get a New York Yankees hat with our podcast logo on there.
You should.
And I'm never going to wear it because I look like an idiot.
I mean, one of my buddies, for his groomsman gift, he gave everyone a hat from where they came from, like what state they were born in or what city they were born in. And then he had embroidered on the back the date of his wedding.
Oh, that is dope.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that is a great idea.
Yeah, that is very customizable.
So his friend from San Diego got a Padres hat. I got a Cubs hat. His friend from LA got a Dodgers hat, you know? So there's a lot of ways that you can play around with it. Creative outlet, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is the whole point with like these hats is that there's so much variability, but because of that, there's so much customization. And you can really tailor it to like yourself.
You're up to your
which
style.
is pretty. I guess I never thought of it that way.
As a collector's perspective, is it collecting hat is like a good investment?
Oh, hell no. It's a terrible investment. Absolutely. It's purely for your enjoyment. Like if you want to get into the resale game of hats, like you can. It's hot right now because they're kind of mirroring the whole drop format of like sneakers where they share out a launch date and then they drop X number of hats in certain styles and they do previews and all that. But I don't think there's really a market for it. It could be. It's hot right now. It's like the new hype product at the moment.
The people that get into reselling hats, like, are they not wearing their hats? Or are they just like, you're buying it, you're just sealing it up, and then you resell it later?
I have no idea. I don't know any hat resellers like that would consider themselves as resellers. Like there are like brand hats that will resell, or like a collab hat that would resell, but generally the launches are going to be some variation of a sports team or some license.
I remember you telling me about Chance the Rapper. He had some kind of hat drop or part of his like album or something or merch.
He always wears a hat though, so that's like part of his thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, he like really made the snapback. He ran with the snapback. So his 3 hat, the number 3 on the front. That's a new era, but a lot of artists are doing that now. A lot of artists have their own new era hats.
Oh, do they? Like rap art?
If you look up pretty much any artist and go to like their merch shop, you're probably going to find hats on there. It may not always be a fitted, but there's always hats.
I think hats are a
so
staple.
They never
for
have
merch.
a sneaker deal, but they'll always get a hat
Always have
deal.
a hat deal.
And it's always through New Era?
No. So I don't really know about the hat business. I don't know like what designs does New Era get versus Mitchell and Ness versus 47 versus Fanatics, right? Like if we're talking strictly about like sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there are multiple logos for a baseball team, but different companies will use different ones. So I don't really know how that works.
Not every artist can get a sneaker deal, but they can get a hat deal, right? So are all these hats, like if I go on there and like Kanye to the Jay-Z, Kid Cudi, who's this other guy, Chance the Rapper, they all, if I go on their merch shop right now, they all are going through New Era? Or they're going through the 47, they're going through Mitchell and Ness, they're going through all these other guys?
They may not go through anyone. They may just be printing on generic.
They're printing on like the anvil of hats.
Some like the Anvil, the Gildan, the Hanes, whatever it is.
I mean, yeah, whatever merch they're making, it's their own merch. It's only if they want.
I just didn't know if this was like another Luxottica thing, where New Era is just like running it.
Oh,
running the whole thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's. I do think that Chance the Rapper kind of like started the artist working with actual hat brands. When he first started wearing it, people wanted that hat, but you couldn't buy it in stores. And then eventually they did it by releasing only in Chicago stores for a while. And now you can just buy it online. But I think he was like one of the first to actually have a partnership, I guess, with like New Era. I could be completely wrong. I'm sure there were other artists, but that's like the one that really sticks out to me that started recent wave of interest in hats.
These hats ain't loyal.
I think most people I know who are into fitteds are either really into like pop culture or they're really into baseball.
To be honest, I used to wear fitted hats a lot when I was in like high school and college. But now I kind of switched over to like dad hats or snapback.
I think that's a natural transition though, because it went from fitteds to non-fitteds and now it's fitteds again. It's just like the trend is changing. So like the availability of products is going to be greater during that time. For me, if I wanted to find a patch hat back in like the early 2000s, I either had to buy a patch and sew it on, or I could only get the ones that were like World Series hats. You know, like patches wasn't a thing. Now they have a patch on every hat, but that wasn't like what they sold. They sold just on-field caps. People wanted on-field baseball caps.
Did you used to buy patches and sew it to your hats?
Yes, I did.
Did you really?
I did.
What did you get? A taco and a banana?
No, it was all related to baseball. They're all baseball patches. I was like, this hat would look great with this patch. So I sewed it on. Or asked my mom.
Mom, can you buy me this hat and then sew this thing on for me?
Shout out to mom.
Exactly.
Shout out to the moms out there.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, let me ask one last question. What is your favorite fitted hat you have and why?
Chicago Cubs 2016 World Series cap.
Ooh,
Or
that's a good one.
recently went on a trip to Cooperstown Museum and I got a Cooperstown Museum hat. That's one of my favorites.
Really? That's your favorite?
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites.
Is that the white one?
Yeah, with the blue brim, the one you helped me pull out. Yeah,
That's your favorite that you have, and you wear that all the time?
all the time. For me, all the time is like once a week because I'm rotating through them like all the time. If I wear it once that week, like consistently, then that's definitely a favorite.
Well, you have 150, so you can rotate quite a bit.
But I already know in my mind what hat I want to wear that day. So it's not like I'm going through 150 every morning figuring out what hat I want to wear. It's just
Really? So you like you're planning your day, you're about to leave the house. Do you already have an idea of what hat I'm going to wear?
Yeah.
When you plan your outfit, do you start with the hat and work down?
If it's a new hat, then I will do that. It's like I just got a new hat. I'm excited. Then I'll start top down. But usually it's the last thing that I think about.
First of all, I think about what I'm doing that day, right? If I'm walking a lot, I'm picking my walking underwear. And then I'm going with the type of pants that's going to allow that friction between the walking underwear and the type of pants I'm wearing. Then the type of pants goes into the type of shirt that I can wear, right? Because if I'm wearing black jeans or blue jeans, I can't wear the certain shirts. And then I add the shoes to it. If I had hats, I'd need an Excel spreadsheet to get dressed.
You're using a lot of your morning brain resources to try to match your underwear with everything else.
He collects underwear. Don't judge him. You collect hats. The fuck do you know?
I was actually going to say the same thing. Like that is exactly the way that I think about hats. It's like buying underwear.
I've got 150 underwears in my drawer right now. I'm going to throw them all out.
I do probably have more hats than I have underwear and socks.
All right, so can I ask you a serious question about hats though?
Sure.
Do you wash hats?
Ooh, good question.
Yes, you do wash hats.
How do you
And
wash
how
them?
do you do it?
It feels like it ruins it, doesn't it? Like because it get wet and then like if it doesn't dry
You can't
properly.
just throw it in the washer and dryer. I feel like that doesn't work.
Or it shrinks, right?
You got to spot clean it. They don't shrink anymore because they're all made out of polyester instead of wool.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Back in the day, you would buy a wool hat, and if it was too big, you take a shower with it, and it shrinks.
Oh.
It fits your head. Or that's how people got it to have such a snug fit. And now they're all polyester. There'll be like special launches where it's wool hats, but they're generally polyester now. So you have to buy. They call it I forgot what they call it exactly. It's like they call it a fitter. So it's like this band you put inside your hat to make it fit if it's too big now, which I think is ridiculous. But yeah, you just have to go in and try them on because they're all, even if you buy the same size every time, they're not going to fit the same every time.
Right.
But yes, you can clean it. You just have to spot clean with like a toothbrush. Don't throw it in the wash.
I want to say big thanks to Steph for joining us and sharing his passion for hat collecting. Any final thoughts or you want to start collecting?
Listen, the hat game is not for me. I'm still going to go for my utility purpose hats of collecting sweat and then me forgetting about them. But it is interesting to see like someone's passion for collecting this accessory that I honestly, I don't think twice about, you know. Leaving the house for me, it's I get to the door. Should I wear a hat today? Should I not? Yes or no? Grab one or don't grab one.
I always seen this hat culture. I always envied the hat culture because I could never be part of it. Like I would always go to Lids. I would always go to these stores and I would see these cool ass hats. I mean, cool colors, cool graphics. I was like, oh, that logo is sick. Oh, they redid this to make it look like that. Or the material they use. Like I love the way hats look. If I wore them, I'd have 150 hats too. I'd probably have 300 hats too. I really would. Because I think that hats are so freaking cool. A lot of stuff it's so customizable. But I look like an idiot wearing them. So I only have 3.
To Rob's point, I understand the culture of it, especially being like from New York. The Yankees became a Yankees baseball / New York hat of this represents New York, and I can't rock them. So it's like you're not part of the club.
I mean, anywhere you go in the world, you can find a New York Yankees hat.
Yeah,
it's global. Yeah.
Sorry, Mets, go fuck yourself.
When tourists come to New York, Victor, that's a really good point. Like when tourists come to New York, what they want a New York cap.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a New Era fitted. It can be in Chinatown, off the sidewalk. It just has to have the NY on it. And I do think like in New York, more than some other cities, it's like part of the culture for sure.
What about Steph? Do you have any final you want to say to the listener or to us?
I would just say, just buy what you like. This is not a resale business. I mean, it may be one day, but just buy what you like. If function is your priority, then buy a lot of functional hats. Like it actually does something. It not only like wicks away your sweat, but it does provide sun protection. But yeah, just buy what you like. That's my advice.
Keep it pure, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it pure.
Rob, I think you can totally rock a fitted. If you believe that you are rocking that fitted, you're rocking that fitted. Because I see a lot of people, their hat is like 3 sizes way too big for them. Like their ears are inside and you can fit an apple on the side and they're just rocking it. So,
you know what the problem with those people is they believe in themselves.
I believe you, Rob. I believe you.
Chris, I don't believe in other people, and I definitely don't believe in myself. I'm not wearing any fucking hat.
I can already imagine it. He puts on a hat. He walks out of his apartment. He's going, I look like a fucking moron. I look like a fucking moron. He looks like, I look so fucking stupid right now. And it's like no one's even paying attention to him on the street. And he's just saying to himself, I look fucking stupid. Take off this hat.
Oh my God. That's the pep talk I have after I brush my teeth. I'm like looking in the mirror, like, you look like a fucking idiot. Yeah. And then I just get out there.
Do you need a hug?
All right. If you enjoyed today's show, feel free to name drop this podcast to your friends and family. We encourage you to be an active part of our community. Whether you have questions, suggestions, or just want to share your thoughts on topic we covered, we want to hear from you. To stay updated on new content and to join in a discussion, check us out on Twitter at I'm Not Dumb But, and leave some comments on our Facebook page. Stay curious. Peace out.
See you.